Right, since it's been 4 months now, I haven't done a video during the last couple of months in winter, which was, my last update was when we ran out of power, and that was the end of December, just after Christmas, and that was horrible. It was absolutely horrible. It was not like the cold was getting into my bones, and the heating situation was just not ideal. Plus we had the coldest winter so far experienced in a van, and just having a log burner in that case was not enough because we aren't insulated. Such a big mistake. Is unbelievable. Such a big mistake. So what I'll do, I'm just gonna do a quick recap of what happened after we lost power, after the batteries ran flat, until roughly today, end of April. Yeah, and see how we get on. I got a paper that I'm gonna read off, so every time I look down, you know what I'm doing. It's yeah, so I'm gonna start off with the power cut, which was end of December. And what we did was we put a cable from the house to the van. So we had a 4-plug system that we could plug into just our appliances like phones and laptops, and have a light in there. That was the main thing, because when we had the power cut, we were only able to use head torches or torches in general, and that wasn't fun, because when I wanted to go to the toilet, I had to pop a head torch onto me to actually see where I'm going. And when I was cooking, I had to put a head torch on, and I bought a stack of batteries to operate the head torch, because that time was battery operated. It wasn't rechargeable. An absolute nightmare. The batteries ran out every day or two, because we had them on constantly. I had little torches all around the back of the van to have the walls lit up a little bit, to make it a bit more cozy to this grim situation. And we used the power pack, like the jump starter pack from his dad, we used for a while, because they had a torch on it, a light on it, and we used that for a while to just leave on the floor, so we could lit up the floor, so we knew where we were going, and that lit up the room quite a bit as well. And I used a couple of torches to point to the roof, to the ceiling, to have that lit up, because the ceiling is white, and when you point the torches to it, it made a bright, shiny ceiling, kind of, so that we had a kind of appropriate lighting without having lighting in there. And that went on, oh, how long did we do that for? A week or so. Yeah, and then we found a bedside lamp in the house, up in the loft, and then we used that to, as the sun coming out now, it's blinding me, we used that as a normal just lamp. We put that on one of the shelves in between the cupboards, and that way it was the whole room was lit up, so we didn't need the torches anymore, which was great. Yeah, that was horrible. That was absolutely horrible. And that we used until everything's blinding now. So in the back of the van is not enough light for me to film, and the front of the van is too blinding now. But I enjoy the sun right now. Just to drift off the subject for a minute, I really enjoy the sun because we only have rare days of sun at the moment. Yeah, so back to the subject. Oh yeah, it was until when did we do it? Mid-January. So it was just a few weeks, just in that condition, just a few weeks. Yeah, mid-January. And then we had a couple of sunny weeks. I think it was 2-3 weeks mid-January. It was really nice, really warm. It was a very warm January. And in that time, it took the batteries about roughly 2 weeks, I think, to charge up completely. And from then on, we just used the batteries for the light in the van. And the charging of the devices went on through the cable that we put in through the house. And that went on until start of February, I think. We used that for that long. And until then, there were no troubles with the battery flattening out anymore, because the ceiling lights in the van don't use that much power. I think 7 amps or something. It's not a lot. Yeah, and then from then on, we didn't have troubles anymore with charging anything. And I was waiting for the end of March desperately, because obviously the clock's changing forward and there's more daylight. And by that time, when it happened, I was like, oh great, now we have 1 hour more. And yeah, no more charging issues. Definitely at the end of March, no more charging issues. And yeah, we took the cable in, as I said, start of February, and had since then no charging problems either anymore. When we had the trouble with, before we put out the cable from the house, I had to run in the house every day, because I use my laptop a lot, basically every day, because I'm working with it. I had to run in the house every day to charge it, and do some nails in the meantime. That was a lot of trouble. That was a lot of trouble. It doesn't sound like much, but yeah, if you have to continue working and then have to stop and then do some nails because you have to wait 2 hours for the laptop to charge, it's quite a change in daily habits, really. Yeah, and then end of March, I was so glad that all these charging issues were over. It's finally getting warmer, because we had another cold stretch in start of February, and I don't know how long it went. Let me check my paper. I haven't noted anything down. So yeah, it was getting colder again in February, and then for a while it was really cold, and then it slowly climbed up to 8 to 10 degrees, which I was desperately waiting for during the day, and that was such a relief. And now obviously 15 degrees since a month, up and down between 8 and 15 degrees, sometimes even 17. Absolutely crazy. I'm like, yes, I can't wait, I can't wait. Yeah, so these days now are just amazing to me, absolutely refreshing. I don't have to worry about my legs being stiff and frozen. My toes are getting chilblains because they're so cold, and I'm not moving much because I'm working on the laptop. It was a horrible time, a horrible, horrible winter. And I think I recorded some of it, but that was just from personal use, so not much to put out there. But yeah, it was freezing cold. Waking up in the morning and it was 3 degrees, sometimes 0, in the van, not outside, in the van. That was crazy cold, and I don't want to experience that again next winter. I just do not want to. The problem of insulating the van is massive, because yeah, obviously you do that first before you build the van, and we didn't do it. We thought we don't need it, stupid enough. So what we now have the problem with, it's either live in the van for a while longer, save up some more money, and then rebuild it, basically. I would like to restructure some of the inside because it's just not ideal, some of it. But to do the whole turnaround, to do upgrades on it, everything would need to come out, because obviously the baseline isn't there, which is the insulation. Yeah, so all the upgrades would be not possible or unnecessary, because the insulation is not in there and it's not livable during winter. I'm not going to do another winter in that one, that's for sure. Yeah, so I don't know how we're going to get on with that. Either, well, there would be 2 options: saving up and buying another van and setting that up properly and sell this one to someone that has the money and time to focus on it, to rebuild it. Or just, like I said, the other option is just save up money and redo it, the whole thing, into a better, more comfier situation. But I will see what I do. I'll see what I do. It's not the subject for right now, because obviously we're just going in spring and turning into summer, so no need to worry about insulation for the moment. Right, so what else is on my paper? Then we had loads of rain in February and March. Loads of rain. It was just about a month just raining every day, constantly pissing down. I just kept working the whole time. Day in, day out, evenings, nights, until 1 a.m, 2 a.m. I was sitting on my laptop, getting my business going, getting my store running, my profile bigger, putting more products on it, and so on. So yeah, I was busy just hustling on my laptop. Well, no changes made in the van yet, which I just mentioned. We have to think about what we're gonna do, but not yet. The big changes that we need to do for this year is the diesel heater. There needs to be a diesel heater in that thing. Like I said, I'm not gonna do another winter without one. And the upgrade of the log burner pipe needs to happen. That's what I need to invest in, because that pipe is not the right pipe for it. By the time I was buying that log burner, they didn't have a proper piping, double insulated piping for those burners, which they have now, and I just didn't have the cash to buy it yet. So I hope they still have it when I have the cash to do so, and hope it's going to be before October, and yeah, get that installed. I don't think it's going to be an issue with the roof hole, because the pipe we have now is quite large. So I hope it's not going to be an issue. I haven't measured anything yet. I just know that they have the proper piping now, but I have no idea how it's going to work with the ceiling yet. One day I was driving to get a bit of groceries, and I lost the fan cover on the side. Like, the fan covers, because it's sticking out like that, it's come off because of the branches that are scratching on the side of the van all the time when I'm driving. And yeah, it came off and I lost it. I came back and I walked past the van a couple of days later, and I noticed the fan cover is gone. And what we did first, I didn't buy a new one. I looked straight away what happened, how much it is, and it was almost as expensive as buying a new cover layout for this fan. And I'm like, no thanks, I'm not gonna do that. £10 don't sound much to many people, but to me it is actually quite a bit at the moment. £10 investing for just the cover for a bathroom fan that can be lost again. No, I'm not gonna. So what I did, I waited and waited and waited of an opportunity that there might be a very cheap one coming up, and it hasn't happened. And in the meantime, the MOT happened, so we drove to the MOT place to get it checked. And when we came back, obviously with a failed MOT, to fix a couple of things on it, not as major as it was in the first MOT that we had after I bought the van. That was crazy. That was absolutely crazy. That was, we come back, and then on the way we've seen, or my partner's seen, the fan cover on the side of the road, and I'm like, no way, how does that work? It was on the side of the road, still on the road, and nobody drove over it, and it's past 2 weeks or something that had been missing. Unbelievable. So I stopped in a safe place just further up the road, and he ran back to grab it, only to jump right in front of a truck to grab it, because otherwise the truck would have rolled over it. Unreal. What are the chances? Yeah, so my cover's back on. I glued it back on there. I had a little bit of an accident a couple days before I glued it on, because I didn't put the tape properly over the gap, and it was pissing down massively for a couple days, and it didn't stop. Non-stop rain for a couple days, and it made a little river into the van, the wall in between, because the fan itself has a little hole in the bottom, so that was a little river going down from that gap down to the hole in the fan. And I have no idea how long that's been for. It could have been days, and I've seen it, I'm freaked out. I'm like, no way, there's so much water now down that hole. And my partner never sees any troubles with stuff. He's just like, oh, don't worry, just tape over it. So we couldn't tape over it that day because it was pissing down, and therefore we put a plastic bag over it in the meantime, and that helped it. And yeah, as soon as it was dry, I glued it back in. I took sealant, Sikaflex, and glued it back in. And since then it's in, so I will see how long it lasts. And if I lose this again, this fan cover, then I will buy a flat one with just flaps coming out. Sometimes when you put the fan on, the flaps open, and I'm gonna buy one of those, because that's easier, that nothing's gonna get taken away by any branches because it's flat down. Yeah, so that's the story of the fan cover. What else do we have? Yeah, the MOT, as I mentioned before, the MOT happened, and unexpectedly, I didn't know what I would expect. Unexpectedly, it was a fail, and it failed on, let me see, the brackets on the back of the chassis. 3 or 4 of them were rusted away and cracked. And just the bottom ones, not the top ones. The top ones were fine, the bottom ones were completely gone, or 4 of them. And steering wheel pump needed replacing. Since I had the van, that is very difficult to steer around, and he is not driving the van, so he didn't really know what's going on. And anyways, he was finally replacing the pump, and now it's steering absolutely amazing. It's like a new van feeling to drive it. So yeah, and after that was fixed, and obviously went through and was a pass. And yeah, since then I have another MOT for a year, which is great. So that is that for now. I haven't been driven anywhere, which is the main reason of no funds. I have no funds. I wanted to go ages ago, but yeah, since the diff needed fixing, which is the thing now that we need to do, it's in parts already, bits and pieces. I can't drive anywhere now. Diff is out, or at least the cover is off, the oil is out, and the seal, I have to order the seal, plus shims, the right shims for it, because we replaced the diff last year, and since then it's been a year driving, and I ordered oil already, so it should come in a couple days. And then he needs to take out the shims. I can't really explain what else needs doing because I'm obviously not mechanically savvy, but some things need replacing from it, and he still needs to have the color marker to know where exactly the diff and the pinion needs to sit, and that's what happens this week. And then I can order the parts needed, and hopefully by the end of next week we're going to be up and running, and then we're going to go. So, which is still one thing to do, one major thing, which is the spring on the left side in the back. That spring is completely flattened out and doesn't come back up, so it looks like the van is heavy loaded on one side, going to one side, and that's obviously not great. So the problem is that the springs for this van are nowhere to be seen secondhand. If you have someone that has 8-leaf springs for an Iveco van, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear, because I haven't found any scrapyard or anywhere secondhand ones. I found obviously new ones, which comes in pairs, and they're unfortunately £540, which I cannot afford. Absolutely not. Unfortunately, otherwise I would buy them in an instant and replace them and then be on the road. But yeah, so this is the next thing that needs looking up, and after that is definitely go push the gas and go somewhere nice. Yeah, so that's the 4-month recap of what happened. I've been very busy on my laptop. In summary, I was very boring. I haven't done anything exciting. I've tried to be active on Instagram, and more or less has been working, but not enough to get more people following me. But yeah, so if you see this and want to follow me on Instagram, you're welcome to. I'll put links in the description. And I've been busy writing my blog. I started a blog in January, and I will link that in the description as well. If you want to subscribe, for now it's free. I'm not charging anything. I'm just writing. Yeah, if you're interested, have a look there. And yeah, that's that. I will announce as well soon some journals that I'm creating, and I will leave them in the description, but I will make another video about when I finish with them and ready to sell. Yeah, otherwise I'm very boring at the moment. I'm just glued to my laptop trying to work and working with my online businesses. So yeah, I hope it's going to change in the next few weeks, and I'm going to be a bit more busy. And yeah, but I keep you updated. I will not be lazy with videos from now on. I will do videos even though they're just talking sometimes. I will keep you updated on what's happening. Okay, well, for now that's it, and I'll see you in the next video, I guess. Well, thanks for watching. Thanks for staying so long. See you later.